Hi, Eileen Veilleux, the PM here. Welcome to a new series in a mini mental health series, and we're going to be starting on borderline personality disorder. We will be covering the symptoms, causes of borderline disorder. But before we begin, let me remind you that to watch the full video because in the video there's going to be 3 key words throughout the video. At the end of the video, in the comment section, put down what the 3 key words are, along with a genuine comment about the video to be eligible for my 2,000 subscriber merch giveaway. So let's begin. What is borderline personality disorder? Well, borderline personality disorder is a mental health disorder that impacts the way you think and feel about yourself and others. It causes problems functioning in everyday life. It includes keyword self-image issues, difficulty managing emotions and behavior, and a pattern of unstable relations. With borderline personality disorder, you have an intense fear of abandonment or instability, and you may have difficulty tolerating being alone. Yet, inappropriate anger, impulsiveness, and frequent mood swings may push others away, even though you want to have long and lasting relationships. Borderline personality disorder usually begins in early adulthood. The condition seems to be worse in young adulthood and may gradually get better with age. If you have personality disorder, don't get discouraged though. Many people with this disorder get better over time with treatment and can learn to live very satisfying lives. What are the symptoms of borderline disorder? Well, borderline personality disorder affects how you feel about yourself, how you relate to others, and how you behave. Some of the signs and symptoms may include an intense fear of abandonment, even going to extreme measures to avoid real or imagined separation or rejection. A pattern of unstable, intense relationships, such as idealizing someone one moment and then suddenly believing the person doesn't care enough or is cruel. Rapid changes in self-identity and self-image that include shifting goals and values and seeing yourself as bad or as if you don't exist at all. Periods of stress-related paranoia and loss of contact with reality, lasting from a few minutes to a few hours. Impulsive and risky behaviors such as gambling, reckless driving, unsafe sex, spending sprees, binge eating or drug abuse, or sabotaging success by suddenly quitting a good job or ending a positive relationship. Suicidal threats or behavior or self-injury, often in response to fear of separation or rejection. Wide mood swings lasting from a few hours to a few days, which can include intense happiness, irritability, shame, or anxiety. Ongoing feelings of emptiness. Inappropriate, intense anger, such as frequently losing your temper, being sarcastic or bitter, or having physical fights. If you're aware that you have any of the signs or symptoms above, please talk to your doctor or a mental health provider because, borderline personality disorder doesn't just affect you, it affects those around you. And if you can live a good life if you get it treated early. Well, what do you do, when you have borderline disorder and you get suicidal thoughts? Well, If you have fantasies or mental images about hurting yourself or other suicidal thoughts, please get help right away by taking one of these actions. Call 911 or your local emergency number immediately. You could also call a suicide hotline. The suicide hotline number is 1-800-273-8255. You can call that number any time of day. Okay? Another thing you could do is call your mental health provider, doctor, or health care provider. Reach out to a loved one, close friend, trusted peer, or coworker. But always contact someone from your faith community. If you notice any signs or symptoms in a family member or a friend, talk to that person about seeing a doctor or a mental health provider to make sure they get the proper help needed. You can't force someone to seek help. All you can do is try. If the relationship causes you significant stress, you may find it helpful to see a therapist yourself. Now, what are the causes, though, of borderline personality disorder? Do we know what causes this? Well, as with other mental health disorders, the causes of borderline personality disorder aren't fully understood. In addition to environmental factors such as history of child abuse or neglect, borderline personality disorder may be linked to genetics. Some studies of twins in families suggest that personality disorders may be inherited or strongly associated with other mental health disorders among family members. Keyword: brain abnormalities. Some research has shown changes in certain areas of the brain involved in emotion regulation, impulsivity, and aggression. In addition, certain brain chemicals that help regulate mood, such as serotonin, may not function properly. Are there any risk factors involved with the borderline personality? Well, of course, so let's find out what they are. Some factors related to personality development can increase the risk of developing borderline personality disorder. These will include hereditary predisposition, which means you may be at a higher risk if a close relative, like your mother, father, brother, or sister, has the same or similar disorder. Stressful childhood. Excuse me. Many people with the disorder report being sexually or physically abused or neglected during childhood. Some people have lost or were separated from a parent or close caregiver when they were young, or had parents or caregivers with substance misuse or either mental health issues. Others have been exposed to hostile conflict and unstable family relationships. Now, that does not mean that every abused or neglected child is going to have this. It just means that they are at a higher risk of getting it. So, are there any complications with borderline personality disorder? Yes, there is. Borderline personality disorder can damage many areas of your life. It can negatively affect intimate relationships, jobs, school, social activities, and self-image, resulting in repeated job changes or losses, not completing an education, multiple legal issues such as jail time, conflict-filled relationship, marital stress or divorce, keyword, self-injury such as cutting or burning and frequent hospitalizations, involvement in abusive relationships, unplanned pregnancies, sexually transmitted infections, motor vehicle accidents, and physical fights due to impulsive and risky behavior, and attempted or completed suicide. In addition, you may have other mental health disorders such as depression, alcohol or substance misuse, anxiety disorders, eating disorders, bipolar disorder, PTSD, better otherwise known as post-traumatic stress disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, better known as ADHD, and other personality disorders. So you can see there's a lot involved with each and every one of these, and a lot of it, they don't know what causes it yet, but there are some environmental factors and risk factors involved. As I stated in the beginning of this video, if you think you may have borderline personality disorder, please reach out to another family member, a close friend. If you're getting to the point where you think you may harm yourself, call 911 or call a mental health. If you're really serious, reach out for help. There's so many things out there, and I urge each and every one of you to reach out for that help. I did mention earlier in the video there is a suicide hotline number. If you don't want to call 911 and you don't call that number, they'll talk you through it and save your life, because you matter no matter what's wrong with you. You matter. You are important. You were put here on this earth for a reason. Now, we don't know why you're going through borderline personality disorder or why anybody has it. But you need to know that your life does matter, that you are important. So please, remember, if you know of anybody or you have it, talk to them. If it's a friend or a family member that you think may have borderline personality disorder, don't naturally assume that they do to begin with. Talk to them, find out, encourage them, lift them up, because as you can see, they go through their little mood swings. They don't mean to push you away. And remember that. Take a deep breath when that happens and tell yourself they need help. Reach out and try to help them. Now, if you reaching out trying to help them is putting more undue stress on you than you can handle, then take time away. But at least offer them the different ways of getting help. A therapist, going to see a mental health provider, talking to them, let them know that you care enough, that you want to see them better and to live, because they matter to you. Wednesday, we will be going over the treatment and the diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. So until then, remember this. Always see with your heart and not your eyes, because what your eyes see doesn't matter. What's really important is invisible to the eye, because only the heart can see it. You have to look at people from heart to heart, not eyes to eyes, heart to heart, to see what that person is truly about. What your eyes see is just a shell. What the heart sees is everything about that person that matters, their personality, their soul. This only is just a shell. Look at it like when you want a nut. You eat, you get a nut, you look at the shell, it looks good. You don't know if the nut's rotten or not until you open that shell, right? You have to crack the shell open to see if the nut's rotten. Well, with people, of course you can't crack people open, but if you see them from your heart, you can see that true person, because what's inside here is what counts. So remember, you come across somebody and they seem moody or whatever, don't be quick to judge them. You don't know. They could have borderline personality disorder. They could have bipolar. They could have anxiety. You don't know if they're on their last straw. They could be hanging from a string. And your words could either break that string or you could lift them up and save their life. So don't prejudge anyone, whether they have a mental disorder or a physical disorder. Always trying to be encouraging, uplifting, and inspiring as much as possible. Okay, remember, you matter to me because you were uniquely made and you're important. And until I see you again, love you all.